Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of Names and Things and Words I Must Say. Okay, so let's start from the top. Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Blaster Toad's tutorials on how to make more and more complicated doors. This is supposed to be a tutorial series on building a platformer game, but so far we've spent one tutorial on making a player move. We've spent 2 tutorials on making doors happen. We're going to do another tutorial on expanding our door here, or the features of our door. And this tutorial is going to go over the use of structures, and structures are really cool little things. Okay? So, first off is we're going to jump right into what I just talked about, structures. We're going to come over to blueprints here, and under hazards, we are going to make a new folder for all this, so we are going to do new folder, switched, hazards, okay, and we're just going to drop all of those in here, move here, move here, move here, yay! And then once you've moved everything around, we want to right-click on content, and tell it to fix up redirections in folders, or redirectors in folders. And what that does is after you've moved things around, it makes sure that everything knows where it's supposed to be. We're going to go into hazards. We are going to come to our switched hazards, and we are going to right click, and we're going to add a blueprint, but this time we aren't going to add it from here. Oh no. We're going to come down here to blueprints, where we've got a couple other interesting things, like structure. And we are going to call our structure door or switched item. Switched underscore item, so it's easier to read later. There we go. Okay. And what a structure is, and this is why they're so cool, is a structure is a list of variables, okay? But it can be used as a single variable, or it can be used in an array. Let's jump right in here and figure out what I'm talking about. So in our new structure, which is our switched items, we are going to have 2 variables. We're going to make 2 here. We are going to have our switch underscore index. And this follows the naming scheme of a lot of things in Unreal, that there cannot be any spaces in it. So remember to use underscores or do the capitalization of each word to make things easily readable. And then for switched index, we are going to make that a integer. And then for the other one here, we are going to say open, but with a question mark. Where's question mark on my bloody keyboard? Question mark. Will that save? Yay, we can save open with a question mark. Okay. And then we want to hit save. So all this does is let us make a variable with multiple variables in it. Okay? And this is the reason why it's cool. So we're going to go over to our switch. Okay? And down here, this is our current switch graph. So what is happening is we animate the handle, and that's just for fun. Don't worry about that, guys. Then we find all the switched actors, so all the doors or fall traps or whatever else we may have that we want to be switched. Okay, we find out whether or not it has the same number, the switch index, to see that switch 1 activates door 1, and so on and so forth. And then we are going to open or close the door, depending on whether our switch is opening or closing. Now what we're going to do is we are going to copy all this. Because why delete it when we can copy it? We're going to copy it over. And we called this operate. We are going to call this one alt switch function, just to make sure it's very different. And we are going to now have it do... Ah, right, that's on the player that we call that, isn't it? Yes. Okay. Well, on the player, we'll go and change... Actually, no, we won't. We're going to get rid of that. We are going to right-click here and break this link to bring operate over here. And this way we can tie it to our original code. And let's just take a look at what our original code did again. So if we move this way, it brings us our menu, and we can hit our action key to operate, and we can come here, and it brings us our menu, and we can hit our action key to operate. Okay? So, good stuff. We don't want that to happen anymore. We're going to break that link. And we're going to bring it down to what we just copied. And we've copied everything over. Now we want to take this bit and delete this bit. Okay. And now we're going to make a new variable. So we are going to make a new variable. We are going to call it door list. I know, as I'll show you all in a bit, the things we are triggering do not have to be doors. They can be just about anything. But I keep referring to them as doors. And that's what we're currently working on. So I'm just going to call this door list. Now, under our variable type, we are going to put in switched item. Is that what we called it? No, that's not. We called it, yeah, switched item. Okay. Struct. Did I not save it? There we go. I just had to resave my class switch, and now we can choose switched item. Okay? So our variable is now of this type that we just made. Isn't that neat? Okay, and then we can do save, save, and then what we want to do here is hit this little grid pattern. And what that does is make it an array. Okay? And arrays are cool. Arrays are actually really cool. So we're gonna then off of switched actors. Now that we have this array made, we are going to do, for every one of these, we are going to do another for each loop. Okay? So we're going to have 2 of these running, except for our second loop is going to loop through our door list. Okay? And this is going to be really cool, guys. Just give it a second. Straighten this out, make sure everything is nice and pretty. Okay. And then here, we are going to split our structure pin. Okay. So in this case, we want to get our switch index from our door. And we'll keep these. And we'll get rid of that. Okay. So, what we did previously was, and we'll just come up here, we looked at all the doors on the level, and we said, okay, does its index number, or does its key, let's call these keys from now on, does its key match the switch's key? So can it open or unlock the door? Okay? And if those 2 keys matched, if those 2 numbers matched, we did things. Now, we're going to do something similar, but we're going to have a list of doors to do things to. Okay? So we are going to check, and again, this is a step I didn't mention for y'all, so we want to right-click, add a for each loop. Okay? We're going to bring our door list, which we just made. So again, we made a new variable of our structure type and made it an array with that little grid. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to right-click and split the struct pins, okay? So split the structured pins. And that I didn't go over previously. But what that does is give us access to everything in this structure. Okay, so we have the index and we have does it open. Okay, so we've got the index now and we have does it open. So now for everything in the list, so we're going to come from here. So for every door, we're going to check it against the list. And if the switch index in the list and the switch index of the door outside match, and we're just going to straighten those up to make it pretty, we're going to continue. Okay? And then, when that continues, we're going to do another branch or another if statement, if you're familiar with coding. And we're going to use the array open as a question mark. Okay? So open true, well then, in that case, we're going to open it. Open false, well in that case, we are going to close it. Okay? So that should be that. So now every time we look through our list of actors on the main stage or out in the level, we're going to compare them to a list of doors. Okay, so we're going to compare to door list. And again, that is C, just hitting C on your keyboard with things selected to make the nice comment box. Okay. And then we are going to open or close. And while we're here, we want to tick this little I on our door. And that should be that. Ah, forgot to set up some pins. So we need to bring our door we found in the world. So of class switched actor, we want to bring that out and pull those lines out to these two. There we go. And we ticked our little eyeball here. Now, this is why I was getting so excited about this. Okay, so we're gonna Control-C, Control-V, make a few doors. And then Control-C, Control-V, make another door. Okay. And with our door, so we've got switch index 3. Let's just do 0, 1, 2. Okay? We'll have our 3 doors. So we'll have switch index 0, switch index 2, and switch index 0, 1, and 2. Just get the right numbering scheme. Okay? Now on our switch, we should now have our door list. And we're going to add an array element, okay? So we've got 0 elements right now. We're going to add a new one. And then in there, we're going to have 0, and we're going to have it open. And then we're going to have another one, and we're going to have it 1, and we're going to open. I'm going to have another one, and we're going to have that as 2 and open. Okay? We got 0, 1, 2. Let's just double check those numbers. 0, 1, and 2. And then on our switch, we are telling it in our door list to deal with doors 0, 1, and 2. And does it open? Yes, yes, and yes. Now on our other one, just to show that things are different here, we are going to add our 3 again. So 0, 1, and 2. And we're going to have 1 stays open, and 0 stays open, and 1 will stay open. But 2 will close. So this should open all of them. And then if we hit this switch, this one should close. Let's give that a try. Okay, so all the doors are gone. If we come over here, there's 1 door back. Look at that. Okay. So that is something really fun we can do. And this way, in our level, as we continue making our platform game, we can have a single switch trigger a door here and a door over here. So we can have one switch. If we click it, it might open the door right in front of us, but it closes a door later in the level. Or it opens the door in front, but it closes the door behind, like an airlock. Okay, so lots of fun things we can do with this. So let's do a quick rundown of what we did again. So, we made a structure, okay? And we called that switch item. Again, to make a structure, we right-click, blueprints, and a new structure. And what a structure is it is a group of variables that we can set together and save as one. Okay? So we have the switch index, and does it open? Then we went into our switch, and we modified it a bit. Okay? So instead of checking its own switch index, we're telling it to go through a list of doors, or go through a list of, doors that it can deal with. So, again, get all the doors on the level, and look through the list of doors that we deal with. And then for the doors we deal with, check, okay, does it match up with the door on the level? If so, should we open it? Yes, open it. No, close it. And that's that. Okay? Yay! Oh, and... okay. I didn't want to do that. So we want compare door list. Now, since we are only 18 minutes into this video, we are going to do a real quick bonus, okay? So, we're going to grab our level, and this is just not adding anything to our game. But what this is showing how we can use this switch system we just made. So here, we are going to rotate this door. So hey, look, it's no longer a door, it's now a platform. Okay? I'm just lining everything up. I'm probably spending too much time on that, being too meticulous, but hey, that's part of my charm, right? Okay, so now, when we play our game, hey look, we can come and we can jump over our switch, but then we can't get over here. And then if we use our switch, oh hey look, if we try to get over, we're going to fall down. But if we go hit the switch elsewhere on our level, go look, our platform's back. So with our doors, we also just made a platform. Okay? Now, if that wasn't cool enough, let's do one more thing. Okay? So we are going to, just like we made the door, we're going to do create child blueprint from our switched actor, And we are going to call this a boulder. Okay? And then out in our world, we are just going to add a cube. We are going to put that to 0y. We are going to then move it this way, stretch it this way and this way, and then rotate it like so. Okay. And now we're going to open up our boulder. We are going to add a sphere. And we're going to scale up that sphere to make it a nice large size. And this is just really quick showing off what we can do with the system we've already made. I'm going to make that zeroed out. Really? That boulder looks kind of puny. Compile, save. There we go. That's more of a boulder. Okay. And then get rid of these. Event begin play is already there for us. We can also right click and event begin play right there. Grab it that way as well. We are going to bind open event and bind close. Actually, we do not need to bind the close event. This one will just be an open. And then we're going to do a new custom event. And we're going to drop the boulder. Like drop the base, but you know, we're going to drop the boulder. And we are going to get our sphere. And we are going to turn its physics on. Not is simulating physics. Set simulate physics. There we go. So right now it's just a thing that hangs in the air. But when we open the door, or when we run the open event on our switched items, it should turn physics on our door, or on our boulder. Okay, so we're going to compile, save. Now if we go back out to our level, we are going to give this a switch index of 4. Okay, and then on our far switch, select, we are going to add another item to our door list. We are going to give it an index of 4, and yes, it's going to open it. Okay. And now we'll save and we'll play. So, come over here. Sorry, I've got my input keys, my action keys set up differently in the game I'm making for myself, so yeah, I keep hitting the wrong key. But we open that door, all our doors go. Now if we go and we hit this, and we walk, oh. Okay, let's redo that, because this has to be like more Indiana Jonesy. Okay. And we're gonna come, jump, and oh no, we got a boulder there. See, we dropped the boulder. We are going to go to our player just to make this a little bit more visually dramatic instead of it being like ways away. We're just going to pull out our camera. There we go. Come over. Open the doors. We come over. Close the doors and drop the boulder. And now the boulder comes rolling over. And our switch stops it. Yay! But yeah. So, the setup we did in parts 2 and 3 of this series gives us the option to do a lot of things. Turning platforms on and off. Dropping boulders. Making traps be visible, not visible in the world. Like, it's endless. We've got a switch that can do anything. We can always add programming to the switched items. But yeah, that's what we have right now. And I'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed another section on doors during our platforming tutorial. Oh, that's so silly, I swear. There's gonna be like 26 videos. Just like, hey, let's continue adding more and more to these door components. Oh. But anyway, as our exciting chapter in doors continues, we'll see you next time. Bye for now.